Well, hello, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Dating and Bright, the podcast. We are not affiliated or endorsed by Brightline Eating, and all content presented in this podcast represents our personal opinions and does not represent medical, nutritional, or psychological professional advice.
Inaugural year.
1874.
Yes.
The year that Garden Grove.
Became Garden Grove.
Garden Grove, California.
Shout out to Garden Grove, where I came from.
Okay.
What are we talking about? Really, what are we talking about?
Co-parenting.
Co-parenting. Yes, that's what we're talking about. We kind of alluded to that on our last episode.
We did.
All right, are we ready?
What are we talking about?
Co-parenting.
We're making shirts, guys.
We are making shirts. Definitely some merch opportunity.
Merch opportunity. What are we talking about? Okay. Are you ready?
I am.
The water's boiling.
Clapboard. Oh, is that too loud?
No, I'm just saying, are you gonna?
No, I'm gonna need some hot water in here, but I can wait till after this episode.
Okay. Are we ready?
We're ready. What are we talking about? We're gonna need all hands too, because we're on episode 11. Come on.
Okay. Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Dating and Bright, episode 11. How are we doing this? Oh, hold on. So we have 11 fingers up now, guys. 11. I don't know what we're gonna do when we get past 20. We're gonna have to start taking off our socks.
Guest appearances.
We're taking off our socks.
Oh no. You know me, that's not gonna happen.
Patty sleeps in her socks for everybody's information.
Isn't it natural? Doesn't everyone sleep in their socks?
I don't sleep in my socks unless it's really cold, and then I will because my toes are cold. But
yeah.
Okay, wow, that's not what we're doing today. We're talking about co-parenting. That's what we're talking about. I've actually gotten some questions about this on Instagram. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we're any sort of experts or anything in the field of co-parenting, but it's something we're navigating. So we figured we would just get on here and talk about it a little bit. So, I mean, I guess if you're one-offing this episode and you've never listened to us before, I, from my previous marriage, have a 9-year-old and 4-year-old son, both boys, sons, not one, two. And Patty doesn't have any children. And so we are in the process of blending the family. And so that puts us in a situation to co-parent.
And we very consciously blending the family because I am a child of divorce, and Megan's parents are still married 50 years later, so she has really no experience in this at all. And I
other than I do have an older sister that was divorced a number of years ago, and one of her children actually lives with us, and so
you were close with all 4 of her
and I've
daughters.
Yeah, she has 4 girls, and I'm close with all the girls, and so I because I don't have lived experience, I will not sit here and say I'm an expert to being a child of divorce, but I did see the way that all of that was navigated with them, and felt very strongly about some things because of the way things were handled with my sister and her ex-husband in some regards. So,
and I think I'm in the same way, except like I said, I've had, my parents were divorced when I was 5, and my biological father, I'll say graciously, was not a great person, and I didn't have much contact with him over our lives. But my sister also got divorced, and I was very close with my nieces and nephew, and so I saw a lot of things there too that drive the way we consciously co-parent and try to make decisions as best we can, being just the 2 of us, it feels like, in that relationship, trying to navigate that path.
right.
So,
and just for everyone's FYI, is that my children's father is still involved in their life. We have a custody arrangement that he has them 2 days a week, and we have them 5 days a week, and that's every week. So every week we do the shuffle, but back and forth, which is sometimes hard, Sometimes, it goes better than others, but that's also part of our co-parenting situation is parenting with another parent that is not involved in our relationship. So, and being respectful of him and, as a parent, as the dad and the parent to the boys
And
that,
their love of him too.
oh yeah,
And
absolutely. They both idolize him 100% and love him and enjoy spending time with him. So, I think a lot of what we're going to talk about in the episode though is our parenting here.
Mhm.
And so I think something I don't even know if we've actually talked about it. So let's talk about it for the first time on the podcast. This will be great. What were your expectations coming into the family
wow.
of co-parenting? I know we haven't talked about this, guys, so you're seeing it first here.
Yeah,
See
we
it
really
first
didn't.
here.
We didn't really talk about that at all. And I don't know that I had any expectations. I knew that it was going to be, a dive into the deep end of, really giving up all of my alone time and, most of my privacy, which it hasn't been difficult, but I think because I was expecting it, while I didn't have any kids of my own my whole life, I was very involved with my nieces and my nephew and my friends' kids and my friends' grandkids. And so I think that I, if I didn't come with any parenting experience, I definitely have a lot of experience with children.
Yeah.
I am an aficionado of children's books and brought many books with me and continue to get books and reading. Nightly reading is a big part of our life, and it started on FaceTime before I even
Right.
lived here. And I think that was a bonding experience right now, with your oldest, we're reading Harry Potter, and then the younger one, we just read paperback or hardboard books
Cardboard
and
books, yeah.
with 4-year-old books. And he got some from school the other day. I was really excited about those, and he was too.
And then they ended up being really long.
A couple of them were really long, and and he is paying attention most of the time, but I'm skipping some of those pages because I enjoy the books, but yeah,
Curious George can get a bit wordy.
for not saying much, that monkey, I'll tell you. But we do enjoy that as a family, the reading time. And, I don't know why I went there, but just bringing with me some experience
Right.
of being with kids.
Well, then we were talking about expectations. And, like you said, we did start via FaceTime reading, nighttime reading, bedtime reading prior to you moving here. And that was on purpose. And we had planned that was what we were gonna do to try and get, the relationship started between you and the boys. Because neither of them are interested in talking on the phone or even being on FaceTime really. But you add in the activity of like reading a book and that really helped. That really helped. So
It's funny, I'm just remembering that Malcolm would get on screen, or sometimes he'd take the phone
yeah,
and run with
run away.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had some expectation that it was, it was going to be chaos. It is a little chaotic. Coming from, living alone, and if something was moved in my house before, I had to be the one to move it because there was no one else in the house. And now it's not, I mean, it's anything could happen. So
At any time.
yeah, but I think my expectations weren't, over the top. And I think that nothing happened that I wasn't expecting. I think whether I was prepared for it or not, I
Mm.
think I pretty much knew, what I was getting into. And, but every day is new. And it's something I've said on a couple of my meetings is that, when things are really good, and they have been good, more good than, not lately. But I know that they are not always going to be good. And it's not always, just because we've reached this level of, comfort and understanding and really just everything's on a good level. Tomorrow it could be just a total, crap storm. And
We can say shit show.
can we?
Yeah, we mark this is not for kids.
Yes, but I'm not.
Oh yeah,
I
she
I
doesn't like
know.
to she doesn't like to curse in public,
I
guys. She curses like a sailor otherwise.
your audience. You know your audience, and I don't know who's watching this. And your grandmother could be watching this. So I don't I
My grandmother's dead.
yeah, mine are too. But somebody's grandmother could be
Sorry, that was
watching.
really dark humor because she just died. Sorry, I'm sorry. My
Sorry,
apologies. Sorry, Grandma.
So yeah. But and then to know in that crap storm that it's not always going to be that bad, that it's going to turn and
Yeah.
it's going to be, you know, just as good. And that was true the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really just a good day. And that was when you were off at the office all day. And after at the end of the second day, I just felt really good and we had some good experiences and everything went well. And I mean, not everything, but mostly everything went well and it was really good. And then one comment just took the wind out of my sails completely. And it went from good to, I don't know, not bad, but I was just an emotional wreck. And I think that was part of it is because I had been on for 2 days
Yeah.
and not drained completely, but I mean my resources were pretty much in, and it made me realize, I think, how hard it was for you before I got here because you were on for months and months of just being it was only you
Yeah.
and no relief in sight, and at least I had the relief, you know, that someone was coming to help.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it goes, the sine wave is strong, and the curves are big,
Yeah.
but I think the highs and lows are getting, the highs are getting higher and the lows, no, the highs are getting higher, but the lows are not getting as low.
Right. Yeah. I definitely think things are
So,
smoothing out.
yeah.
I think the thing too is that, we communicate a lot about parenting in general and what our ideas are about how we should parent. I mean, and you've said it, like you're like, I'm going to default to you, but thankfully you're not scared to give your opinion
No.
about, how you think things could be going. And then we can talk about it. And that's honestly, for me, and even with, their father, like we didn't do that. We didn't have that relationship where we could talk about maybe even our differences. It's fine. Even our differences. Sorry, the computer's dinging if you can hear it, but I don't know that they can hear it. It's far enough away.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, I just haven't had I have not parented with a partner before that I could talk about how we wanted to handle things, how we could make things better. I mean, that's the other thing. We were on a webinar with Julie Menanno, who's the author of our favorite book, Secure Love, today. And we had the opportunity to ask a question, and we asked a question about what her um, advice was for resources for raising kids with secure attachment. And she gave us a number of book titles, which was really awesome. And so it's something like, and then, we were like, okay, like we can read these books and figure out like how to make sure that we're raising them with secure attachment. And I've never had, it was either I was parenting in a silo and with the kid's dad parenting in a silo, and that's how it always felt. It never felt like we were parenting together, to doing it all by myself. Like you said, like there was no one else was parenting, to now having someone who is collaborative in, all things. And like, okay, I might be the default because I'm their mom, but it doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about things, and we're not going to make sure that like what's going on doesn't make sense for everybody and isn't the healthiest for everybody. So I think that's, for me, just like I'm just very grateful because it's not, I don't have to do it all alone. I don't have to do it by myself.
Right.
So
And I think fresh eyes too, like, you know, fresh eyes seeing things and being able to talk about them. And I think our biggest thing is like we want to make sure the boys feel loved and are getting what they need to feel secure attachment and are
having a place to feel their emotions,
right.
and that emotions are okay, and that all those things, because there's been a lot of change that has happened in their life, and they are definitely feeling it and reacting in that way. And now I don't even think inappropriately reacting at any turn, like
No,
definitely having appropriate reactions, but just then how do we love them through that? And yeah, I mean, I think saying that I'm jaded is probably harsh, but it's hard when you are just in it and have been in it and don't, it's hard to take a step back, but then someone coming in with fresh eyes and can see things a little bit differently. And even just because you have such different life experience than me, you can see things in a different way than I can when it comes to kids. And it's funny because my dad told me this, and this has been years ago. He said, that I was going to struggle parenting my oldest because we are so different as far as just like how we relate to the world. And it's true. My youngest, who is a hard kid just because he's very independent and willful, but I almost can roll with that easier because that's who I am. And I understand him, and I understand how he is, why he is the way he is, and why he makes the choices he makes. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what he's doing because he wants to flex his independence and he wants to do this or he wants to do that. Whereas my oldest makes decisions or says things, and I'm just like, he's an alien from another planet, but you can come in and see things in a different way than I can, because yeah, which is, it's nice. It's great, honestly.
Good. And I think that, I don't know, I think that they're benefiting from that, from both of us being present and able to feel all of our emotions, because tying this into dating and bright is like we can't stuff. We're not stuffing.
Right.
We're not numbing out with screens and TV and computer games or whatever. And I think sometimes that's uh I don't know, part of the problem is that, not problem, but discomfort,
Right.
because we're having to feel our feelings and they are too,
Yeah.
because we limit screen time,
Right.
and we limit.
Which is a really easy way for the kids to numb out. Like, that's something I think that became like super apparent to me very, very quickly when I started limiting screen time in the home, was that I was getting emotional pushback, especially from the oldest, because that was his way of numbing out, and he wasn't able. And not that we never allow screens. That's not, we don't roll that way, but it's just, not having it all day, every day, just be the go-to, makes, gives them time to think and feel and imagine and do all those things, which I think are very, very important and vital. But when it's a shift from the before of constant screen time, it's been hard. But I mean, I think they've adapted now. I don't think they still crave it, but they just don't push it as hard as they did
Right.
before.
And I think consistency is the key too, and we've been really consistent. And I really just revel in that, it's like, oh, it's after dinner. We don't have screen times after dinner. Like,
Yeah.
there's no screen time after dinner.
Yeah.
And to that translated to their grandparents' house, like, or grandpa was over here watching them, and we're like, oh, did you watch, were you watching YouTube? And he's like, no, there's no screen time
Yeah.
after dinner. Like,
From
you're
the
right.
from the oldest, not from my dad,
Right.
from the kiddo.
Right.
That he's like, no, we don't do screens after dinner. I was like, yes, you're right. We don't do screens after dinner.
So that told me that the consistency, and like, we didn't know that consistency is key
Yeah.
with kids. They
Yeah.
want a routine, they want to know what's coming, they want to know what to expect and when to expect it. And I think we've tried really hard in that. And I think we're, it doesn't always look successful,
No.
but I think it's sinking in, and I think it's helping.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping that these books that she recommended, will help to help us navigate these times. Cause I think that, I mean, Aiden, my oldest, is getting to the point and age of, like, gonna look, it's gonna look completely different. He's not a little kid anymore. Like, he's gonna have his own opinions and his own, like, he'll come home from school and he'll say stuff. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't say this, but one of his stupid friends said that. I know. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. But I feel that way sometimes because stuff will come out of his mouth that I'm like, I know that that's not coming from him. I know that that's, influence of friends and that sort of thing. But, it's the age that they're coming to. So I'm glad that, um, I'm hoping that we can continue this, and that this is what we're setting ourselves up for, is that home is their safe place. One of my biggest things in starting a new relationship was I wanted to model healthy relationship behavior to my kids, because I didn't feel like previously I had done that. And so that was really important to me. And I think that that is a goal of Patty and I's both, is that we continue to model healthy relationship behavior to our kids. So,
Absolutely.
and just loving them. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else that,
No, I know I default to you as the mother, but our default together, I think, is just love.
yeah.
And almost everything that we do, we're looking at how it's impacting the kids and how to make their lives easier or better or more navigable, or I don't know. I think we just factor them in to every decision, and
Yeah,
I don't think that'll ever steer us wrong.
probably not. Yeah. And I think it's, I do feel very lucky that I have someone that came into my life that was not only interested in me, but also interested in, co-parenting with me, because it was never, and it was never even a second thought in your brain, because you knew from the very beginning that I had kids. And so it wasn't, there was never a second thought in your brain as to whether that was part of the equation for you.
No.
Um,
I knew to love you was to love your children too, and that was clear to me.
yeah. And I've told Patty this over the last couple of days, especially, that, I had the fear of her coming into this, into the family, and just it being overwhelming or too much, or, all those things, because she'd never lived in a house with little kids before and had to endure the chaos 24/7. And she's just so amazingly adapted to that. So I'm very grateful. I'm very appreciative. Um,
And those of you who aren't watching, I totally beamed at that because it means a lot to me, because it's important to me to blend as a family and to, make it as seamless as possible for the kids, because they didn't ask for any of this.
no,
And it's not, you know, we chose to be together, and we choose that every day and very consciously, but they haven't chosen that. They didn't choose to have me in their life. It's been hoisted upon them, and hoisted, I don't
sure.
know, one of those. And I'm conscious of that every day. So
Yeah. So one of our hashtags is conscious coupling. So conscious co-parenting, conscious
oh, new
doing things.
hashtag?
Yeah, maybe a new hashtag. Doing things consciously, really, just, making decisions and um, having these discussions continually, and that's the thing, is that life will change, it'll change, things will get hard, things will get easy, like it's going to go up and down, but knowing that we have a foundation that we've settled on, and we can do this together, and that we will work together, and that we're a team, all of us, all four of us are a team, not just Patty and I mean, Patty and I are a team too, but the boys too.
Yeah. And just last weekend, one of our friends gave us a bamboo, which is up there. I don't know if you can see the plants up on the mantle, but it's a bamboo plant, and there's 4 stalks of bamboo in it, which represent all 4 of us. And that was very sweet. Thank you, Sue.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
And yeah, I don't know why I brought that up.
I don't know. Together.
Yeah, together. So,
Okay. I think that's our
Is that
episode. I think, do you have anything else to say?
co-parenting, I think we, at
Covered.
this point, yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean, we're
feel
still
involved,
learning.
Yeah. We learn daily.
And as we get into these books that were recommended, I'm sure we'll start talking about them too, as we talk about Secure Love all the time. But we're in a place to want to learn and want to grow, and know that that's a vital part of healthy relationships.
Yeah, and
So.
do the best for the boys.
Best we can.
Yeah. And there are people in a campfire outside. It looks like maybe they want to come in.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop. Okay, so that's our episode, guys. Episode 11?
11.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 11. I'm supposed
11.
to hold up a hand. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I thought I saw someone walking.
I was like, I don't even see the fire anymore.
Well, you can see it through the slat a little bit. It's dying, but I thought I saw one of their head.
Would you want to stick your head? You want to stick your head out and tell them they can come in if they
Okay.
want. We have teenagers. And that's the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you would like to contact us, you can email us at pattyandmegan@gmail.com or hit us up on any of our socials. Have a beautiful, bright day.